Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Marvel Spider-Man TV series, and a lot of other people have given their opinion on it, and I'm going to give mine. Now, like many of my other videos, I don't have a script for this, and I'm just recording this plain out. And the sound you guys heard was in there. And if I'm in a different room, that is because I am not filming in my bedroom. I film in my bedroom, which is my office for filming videos, or in my mom's room, which is the guest room, and I film in here. And my dad is off on a trip, and my mom's off up to my relative's house, so I'm going to be filming a couple videos today. So I'm going to give my opinion on the Marvel Spider-Man TV series. So you guys already know what this is. It's the most recent incarnation of Spider-Man in animated television. Now, everyone knows who Spider-Man is. Most people do. Most people know the movies. Most people know the TV shows. Most people know the comics, animation. Everyone knows the origin story. So, yeah. And, Marvel's Spider-Man replaced Ultimate Spider-Man. And as everybody knows, Ultimate Spider-Man replaced a very popular, in my opinion, my favorite one, Spectacular Spider-Man. Now, I loved Ultimate Spider-Man and Spectacular Spider-Man. I love those shows. I like Spectacular Spider-Man because of how it connected me to the Raimi films. I liked Ultimate Spider-Man because of how unique it was. It was separating itself. And Marvel's Spider-Man, well, it debuted a couple months after the original series had finished. So, I was interested in watching it, so I watched it. And, to be fair, I was not a very big fan of it at first. The season felt too high-tech, but until I started rewatching it later, I realized how good it was. A lot of people have given it a bit of a bad reviews, and with most recent Maximum Venom being finished, and with me finishing all 3 seasons, and June 21st coming up with the 3rd episode of Maximum Venom coming up airing on Disney XD coming up soon, I've decided to talk about it. So it's a review kind of, but it's also a talk about it. So I'll be explaining about it. So let's just get to the point. So, Marvel's Spider-Man was a 2017 debut series that rebooted the franchise of Ultimate Spider-Man. Its predecessor being Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, technically, it is a reboot. It reboots the entire thing. It has no connection to the previous universe, and that has a lot of issues. Because one issue I had is that with Ultimate Spider-Man, it was connected to Marvel's Avengers Assemble and Guardians of the Galaxy and Hulk and the Agents of Smash. Now, Hulk and the Agents of Smash had nothing to do with the franchise. It wasn't really canon. Ultimate Spider-Man got cancelled. Avengers Assemble got cancelled. So Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers Assemble had to go into a new universe. They had to switch over to a whole nother universe with a whole different characters. Now, I believe that everything's a reboot. So, in my opinion, these are all different versions of the characters. The Iron Man we get, the Black Widow, Captain America, they may be voiced by some of the original voices we remember, but they're not the Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye, Black Widow we found, or Hulk that we saw in Avengers Assemble, or Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers. So we never saw them in that, or Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. But back onto the point, out of season 1 to 3 are the seasons we've got them. Season 3 has definitely been a bit better than its past 2 predecessors. At first, when it began, it told the origin story of Spider-Man. It was good, but I felt like that it treaded too much. We don't even know. They don't even show how Uncle Ben, we don't even know. We already know that, obviously, his Uncle Ben's going to get shot. That's the whole point of his origin story. He gets bitten by a spider. Peter Parker tries to become famous. Goes into a wrestling match, wins it. Uncle Ben gets shot. Takes revenge and realizes it's a guy he let past, and then learns with great power comes great responsibility. It's a pretty thorough origin story that everyone knows, and it was cool that you split it up into 6 parts, and it's also watchable on Disney XD's YouTube channel and on the Disney Plus app if you own it, or on whatever streaming service you have that has access to it. But the 6-episode miniseries was kind of an overflow of the origin story. It was cool, but Uncle Ben was put in there automatically, and we don't even know anything about him, and they automatically say he's shot to death. But we have a fair idea that he was going to die. Here we had a fair idea, because the criminal that shoots him just runs past him and runs out the door. So, obviously, Uncle Ben was most likely going to die in the next short film. So, yeah. And, but yeah. So we'll move on to talking about the first season. So, the first season of Marvel's Spider-Man got off into a weird start. It was very nice. It picked up where the Origin Part 6 left off. Peter Parker's getting back into his, realizing how much harder it is to be Spider-Man. He's doing his beginning years as Spider-Man, and he's getting enrolled into the new high-tech school, Horizon High. So, yes, it's very nice to see that, one actor I didn't actually know came back was Josh Keaton, who played, the original Spectacular Spider-Man, not the original version, but played Spectacular Spider-Man in the animated version of the character. And it was nice to see him come back as Norman Osborn. So, it was very nice. But, Season 1 felt a bit too technical with the Spider-Man character. It went too much into tech. Now, I'm all for Peter Parker's nerdiness. His nerdiness is a part of his character. But they pushed into the nerdiness way too much. They made it way too mathematical. If you make a show way too mathematical, it kind of turns from an animated series into an educational series. Now, I'm all for educational series. Educational series need to be around so that younger kids can learn how to develop their minds and all that stuff. We already know because, well, I'm like 13 and I've already learned those educational shows. I've already done all that. I did all that when I was 5, 6, 7. I already learned all that stuff. I've already watched Spider-Man. I've already watched all these educational shows. I've already watched kids shows like Peppa Pig or Dora the Explorer, Go Diego Go, or shows like that. I've already watched them. And I've already passed them, and so now I'm into more different stuff. But, Season 1 went too technological with the character, went too mathematical. I didn't mind it, but it went too high-tech. If Spider-Man goes too high-tech, it kind of makes him like Iron Man. Now, no offense, Iron Man is a cool character. He's high-tech, but that suits him. It suits his character. It suits his high-techness. The Fantastic Four have a high-tech base. Spider-Man doesn't have a high-tech base. That's the whole point of his character. He has low-grade stuff that he gets from the dumpster. But I do like how it gives them more advances with technology, and I did not really like how they introduced Miles Morales way too early. But, yeah, they introduced him way too early, rushed through his story really fast, but in my opinion, the more seasons came around, the more the character got, given more treatment. And we got to meet some of your Avengers. We got to meet Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow, Mrs. Marvel, Miss Marvel. I mean, we haven't gone to see Hawk. We've seen Hawkeye, a version of Hawkeye. I think I haven't seen it where Hawkeye's debuted yet. But we haven't seen Thor though. We haven't seen the reboot version with Thor. But yes, and it's really nice to see the series. It was good. It had a good start. It had a good start and it ended on an odd note. But yeah, it had a flash through story. You knew what characters are going to be. I watched a video about a guy who, Nintendo, he said that obviously he knew who was going to be there. Doc Ock was going to turn into, Otto Octavius was going to turn into Doc Ock. Norman Osborn was going to probably turn into the Green Goblin. Harry Osborn was going to become either the Green Goblin or Hado's Spider-Man. Oh, yeah. Peter was going to work for the J. Jonah Jameson, all that stuff. You knew that was going to happen. Venom was going to come in. Eddie Brock. We all knew this was going to happen. And the difference with me and the other guy is that I watched every season, so I can give my full opinion on all 3 seasons. But overall, season 1, I mean, it was good. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. It was a good season, but it needs to get less of the technical stuff out and focus on the technical stuff, but also bring in Peter Parker and Spider-Man as one. Now on to season 2. So season 2 mostly picks up where season 1 left off with the clearing of all the spider people. Now, this one got less technical. I didn't mind it was technical, it leaned more into the Peter Parker thing. They needed more into Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and the animation did get a bit better, but I didn't really care that animation wasn't that good. I'm not the type of person that cares about how good or bad the animation is. All I care about is that the season's good, it continues the theme of the previous season, the story's good, the characters are good, the characters aren't big whining babies, and the animation looks pretty goodish. That's all I care about. Those are the 6 things I care about in an animated second season. I don't care about if the animation isn't good or the characters aren't perfect or Peter Parker or Harry Osborn are different than the previous version we saw. Every season, in my opinion, is supposed to be unique from the last one, like The Flash. The Flash season 1 is a big fat origin story. Season 2 is basically just a rehash of that, but no origin story, just big fat multiverse involved. Season 3, just a big fat Savitar future version from the future. Season 4, a big mind-controlling dude who wants to try and ruin Barry's life. Season 5, daughter comes back from the future, has to face Cicada, 2 different cicadas. Season 6 has to face some black dude named, I don't know, I forgot his name. And then you have to face some Mirror Master version, some woman Mirror Master. And yeah. But the seasons have different things. But with Marvel Spider-Man Season 2, it took it up a notch. It brought to life the superior Spider-Man story arc. It did feel rushed, but it was also kind of unique seeing someone else in Peter's body. But I felt like that it got rushed, it got woven in there a bit too quickly. But it was cool seeing it, because I've never read the Superior Spider-Man comics. I've never seen that before, so it's my first time seeing this. It's my first time seeing the incarnations, this one. So and and spoilers for this. Obviously spoilers. Sorry to warn you, but there will be spoilers. But the ending season was great. To spoilers for the second season, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch season 1 and 2 and recently season 3. The first 2 episodes on either on Disney XD or somewhere else to get catched up. But at the season finale, Doc Ock sacrifices himself by instead not Peter being putting on the neurocortex, but him. He puts it on and it sadly kills him. Now, his character was very great. He became a teacher, then he started going insane, and then his arms got removed, so he started becoming angry, and then his arms got surgically stuck to his body and became Dr. Octopus. And then after that, his body's state became unattached after he went in his coma. They were able to pull him off. He was angry, so he transformed his mind into the neural cortex, and then into his arms, and then into the neural cortex, and then into a robot body. And then into Spider-Man's mind, and realizing what Spider-Man, that he could be the superior Spider-Man, so he is. And he becomes Spider-Man, and after being Spider-Man, goes back into his body and wakes up, and soon, not long after that, soon becomes a hero, and then sacrifices himself. And the season 2 ends on a pretty good note. I like the note. It ends on a cool note. And overall, Season 2, I'll give a 7 out of 10. It was a good season. Season 1, I gave a 4 out of 10 because I gave it a 1-up because it was Spider-Man and I love the character, and even though it was really technical, it was still good episodes. There was still so much more to do into it, and yeah, Season 1 just did a really great job introducing the character, in my opinion. It wasn't great. It was a bit too technical. It did focus on how much Peter Parker was a nerd, but it still was a good season, in my opinion. But next, and with Season 2, obviously I gave it a 7 out of 10. I was going to give it a 6, but a 7 is good for me. It's good, it's bad, it's a bit of both. It had great stories, it rushed stories, it wove them in, it rushed the characters, it brought Miles Morales back, it put him on the sidelines, brought him back. Season 1 did that to him, Season 2 did that to him, but I like this version. This season was pretty good, so I give it a 7 out of 10. And now we are on to Spider-Man Maximum Venom, or Marvel Spider-Man Maximum Venom, if you want to call it. And now that we're leaning on the 13 minutes, I don't want to stretch this video any longer, so let's continue. So with Marvel Spider-Man Maximum Venom, it shows Peter Parker is older, so now he's in his final years of high school, Horizon High, and he's ready to go to college, and his friends have all gone into college, and he hasn't done it yet. And this season is so far good. We've gotten one of my personal favorite love interests, Mary Jane Watson, and we're gonna get another episode on June 21st. Now, I was able to watch the first 2 episodes, and the 3rd episode is coming out on June 21st, so I'm just waiting until it comes on. So I can't wait until this season carries on, because hopefully, even if it's COVID-19 currently, I hope that they continue the series for this year. I really want to see more Marvel Spider-Man this year. It'd be really nice to see more of it, so, yeah. But, back to the main point. The season was so far good. It started off a bit weird, but, then when I realized Peter Parker's going off to college, and, a cool thing is that, we're getting more classic characters, and, well, I mostly like the season. So far, it's better than its 2 predecessors. It did really cool concepts. It's got Baby Groot in there. It's really adorable seeing Baby Groot there. And also, besides the fact I had to see an album of baby photos of a elephant called Senior Trunks. And seeing Ironheart, Amadeus Cho, and unique different characters come into the episode. It's going to be nice to see how if they're going to lengthen the plot to a couple of episodes or lengthen it to the whole season. That there's a big symbiote army coming. In my opinion, they should do that plot, but then go halfway through the season and then finally finish them off. And then the last episode show Peter trying to fix up what happened after the events of it. And hopefully, please, hopefully, if the ratings are good enough to make it to the 4th season, I'm really starting to like this. The first season wasn't that good. The second season was a bit better than the first season, even though the first season was kind of good, but it was too technical. The second season was still good, but it needs some more improvements. The third season is so far good. If they keep this train going, hopefully it can get better. And I wish I could tune in on Disney XD, but I don't actually have the channel. I can't actually get access to the channel. I don't have Sky, and it's not on Disney Plus yet, so, in my country, New Zealand, I live in New Zealand. For those of you who live in America, Canada, Netherlands, or any country that has the 2 seasons of Spider-Man, go watch them. Go watch both seasons of Spider-Man. But, for the country I live in, New Zealand, we don't have Spider-Man Season 2. But, a little message to Disney or whoever runs Disney Plus to put the shows on, please put Marvel's Spider-Man Season 2 on. I really need to see it on there. And please put Maximum Venom on there too. Please put Season 2 and 3 on there. I really need to watch them, and I really wanted to. It's really cool. And, but overall, currently, Season 2 is a pretty good season, and I like it. It has a lot of possibilities. And one of the main reasons I like the current episodes, because obviously Mary Jane, her character's animation looks cutesy, along with Peter's. The animation looks cute and adorable. And I really like that character, those two, to get explored more. It'd be cool to see those two get explored more as characters. And I would love to ship the Marvel Spider-Man Peter Parker, Marvel Spider-Man Mary Jane, because I want to see a bit of love into this animation series. I want Peter to have a bit of a love interest. Now, I do not mind if Mary Jane's not portrayed as a love interest. Mary Jane doesn't always have to be a love interest. I just like it better if we could see a Peter have a love interest, because with Marvel Spider-Man, he doesn't have a love interest. With Spider-Man, nearly always has he had a love interest. Any incarnation of his characters mostly had love interest and dated one of the characters. And Spectacular Spider-Man did that with Gwen Stacy. Ultimate Spider-Man didn't. The reason I like this series better than Ultimate Spider-Man is that Ultimate Spider-Man didn't handle some stories properly. Spectacular Spider-Man did, but they handled it like the comics, and they handled it in a really good way. Ultimate Spider-Man didn't. They didn't give him the symbiote. They didn't make anything cool. They had some cool plots, but Ultimate Spider-Man didn't do as good as Spectacular Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man, the reason I like it is because it reminds me of Spectacular Spider-Man. It may not be as good as some people think it is as Spectacular Spider-Man, but obviously those people uploaded the videos about not liking it. This was years ago. This was back 2 to 3 years ago. People have probably changed a bit of their minds. So the series is now in 2020. This is now the 4th year Spider-Man's been on air, because 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. This is the 4th year, or the 4.5 year. We're 4.5 years through Marvel's Spider-Man, and obviously people must be getting it better. Because I like the show. It reminds me of Spectacular Spider-Man, even though it doesn't have all the cooler. It isn't as good as that show, but it's good for me. I like the series, and now that we're leaning on the 18, let's try and wrap this video up. So, like I've overall said, I like the first season. First season's a bit too technical. It still has some good things going for it. The second season's good, just needs a bit more improvements. Season 3 is great. I really want to ship Mary Jane and Peter Parker together. But yeah, that about does it. More stuff could be handled, but I can't wait to see where this series goes forward. Make sure you guys watch the 3rd episode. But that wraps it up. So make sure you guys like and subscribe and click the notification bell depending on what version of this YouTube you're on. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video and my talk about Marvel's Spider-Man. This is my last talking video about Spider-Man, so next video will be about a certain dragon-themed franchise where characters learn how to train them, ride them, and deal with bad dragons and villains and fight many people like Treacherous or Grimholds or many blood-fist people or grizzly people. So if you guys know what those Easter eggs are, tell me in the comments below. And after I do that franchise, tell me what franchise or TV series you want me to do next. Tell me in the comments below. And if you guys want me to ever try and do stop motion or toy reviews, comment down in the comments below. But make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.